Craig Barnes.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate that introduction. President Mike, it's always a pleasure to be in Savannah and be back to a place that I and my family hold very dear. It has been a whirlwind since I left Savannah. I've been back in Atlanta for a little over 5 years now. Faced a few challenges along the way, but all in all, it's been a really fun ride. I do miss my days here in Atlanta. A few weeks ago, I was at the Page Turning event in Atlanta, and our good friend Anthony James and Sheila were there, and we had a big hug, and it was great seeing them, and we reminisced about Savannah and his and Sheila's days here, as well as Annie and I, and so we just had a really good time. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to come today. I want to start out by just talking about what Kathy talked about. You know, we've been in business in our company at Georgia Power. We've been in business for 130 years now. And our company is based on a lot of the exact same ideals and foundations that Rotary is built on. Being service above self and giving back to the community. That's what we're founded on years ago. Our product drives the economy, and it is our responsibility to do our part, not only to provide that product, but to be a good corporate citizen in the communities where we serve. And I'm really proud, this was not prompted, but President Mike recognized Dale Holloway for his role in the United Way, recognized Swan in her role in what she's doing for the celebration, and certainly Kathy is involved here in this community in many levels. So that is who we are. That is what we do in addition to providing electricity. Let's face it, electricity drives the economy, and we're proud to be part of that. But you as customers, when you look at us and you think about us, what do you think about? What do you expect out of us? We poll our customers, and our customers tell us what they expect. So we're going to have a little bit of audience participation. So you tell me, what do you expect out of us? Number one, reliability. What's the second one? Somebody said service. That's number two, customer service. And what's the third thing? I want to be able to afford it. Without a doubt, those three things are the things that our customers drive us. Now, you may have an individual or a business that has a particular need that says, I want something, but 99% of our customers, when they think about us, they only think about us in the context of those three things. So every decision we make within our company is absolutely driven through the filter of those three things. So what does it do in terms of reliability? What does it do in terms of affordability? And what does it do in terms of customer service? Are we there to provide somebody nice to talk to? So when you talk about affordability, we understand that the economy depends on not only a reliable source, but an affordable source. Because if our price goes out the roof, guess what? It destroys the economy. We get that, we understand it. Just like any business, from time to time, we're confronted with challenges on cost. And we fortunately are managing our way through that in terms of we're right now about 13% below the national average. That's a measure that we track monthly, and we make sure that we do whatever we can to control our costs to minimize our increases. But right now, fortunately, we're well below the national average. We see no reason why we won't be able to stay there. So that's good news. The second component is customer satisfaction, customer service. When you have an issue, you do not want to call somebody that does not respond or be responsive to your issues. That is absolutely an obligation that we have. We measure customer service and satisfaction every day, and we invest a tremendous amount of energy in making sure we do that. We're judged by a lot of independent groups, and we do a lot of polling of our customers to try to tell us how we can get better. Maybe some of you might have been polled at some point in time. But we take that very seriously. Fortunately, we compare ourselves to our industry and beyond our industry, we are viewed very, very highly in that regard. And does that mean that we're right every time? Absolutely not. But on balance, we focus a tremendous amount of that on that every day. But the number one thing that our customers tell us is they want it on. If you have to wake up and you have to think about whether or not when I hit the switch or when I go open up the front door of my business, is the electricity going to be on? We have miserably failed if that's the case. So it's up to us to plan way out in advance to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place that provides you the service you need to run your business and your household. Now there's a process that we do that by. It's called our Integrated Resource Plan. And it's a forward-looking view of about 20 years. What's the economy in Georgia going to do? And what are we doing to make sure that we have the reliability for you, the consumer, to have it there when you need it at a moment's notice? Unfortunately, with electricity, we don't have the ability to store it. So we can't store it. We have to generate it at the instant in which you want it. So it's very, very sophisticated. It is a complex business. But in your terms, you could care less about the complexity. All you care about is what? Is it available? Is it there in the quantity that I need? And so that's our responsibility. And as we plan, we are such a capital-intensive business that what happens when we plan our systems is every decision we make from a generation perspective is generally about a 60-year proposition. So what we have to do, we have to be very thoughtful and very careful about how we plan our system, because each decision we make has a 60-year consequence. So when you're making those kind of decisions, you have to be very deliberate, you have to be very thoughtful, so you make sure that you adequately plan at an acceptable cost. So that's what I want to talk about, is that a little bit of that planning process. What we like to do is we like to consider all sources of energy when we're planning for the future. And I want to click down those, and at the end, if we have time, we can maybe answer a few questions. First and foremost, in this country, the energy source that creates the most energy in Georgia today and in the country is coal. There are 250 to 300 years of coal reserves in this country today. In the past, we probably generated approximately 70% of our energy by coal. Today, that is down. You recall that we retired or are in the process of retiring Plant Craft here just up from the port. Those are coal units that will be shutting down in 2016. But coal is under attack in this country right now by folks that would like to see us do away with coal. Let's understand the consequences for our economy and our country if we abandon coal. Our position is that we don't need to do that. It needs to be part of the mix. Does it need to be the predominant fuel source? Absolutely not. But it needs to be part of the answer. So we have to make sure that we don't abandon coal. Yes, we need to install environmental controls as they get ever increasing. We need to make sure we keep up with the controls. Fortunately for us, we're able to do that. We've got a planning horizon that allows for that to happen. So coal has generated about 50% of this energy in this country for a long time. It is decreasing some, but it still needs to be part of the mix going forward. The second source of energy that we use to generate electricity is natural gas. Natural gas is ever increasing in its role or piece of the pie in terms of electric generation. Why is that? In the history, in the past, gas was very volatile, but that volatility has been marginalized now by the increase in the technology for fracking. Currently, we probably have 250 years of natural gas in the U.S. So when you combine coal and natural gas, you've got a long-term supply of energy. Now, natural gas, this fracking technology, has really been a game changer, and it has helped us all lower our operational costs today in the economy. Thank goodness by the fact that natural gas is at an incredibly low price, and it is very stable for the first time really in the history of natural gas. So natural gas is a big component of what we're doing at Georgia Power Company. The third source is nuclear. As you well know, up the road here in Baxley, we have 2 nuclear units up there. They've been in business, been operational since the 70s. They're running just fine. Just north of here, up the Savannah River, we have Plant Vogtle. We have 2 units up there that came online in the 80s, and they're doing very, very well. And currently, we have under construction at the Vogtle site, Unit 3 and 4. 2 more units, same size as the ones that are there now. On this planet, there's a lot of people that are questioning whether or not nuclear needs to be part of the future. In the U.S., there are 4 nuclear units under construction, 2 at our site and 2 over in South Carolina. In the rest of the world, there are 65 nuclear units under construction. That's 65 in the rest of the world. There's been some hesitancy in our country about doing that, but we firmly believe it's got to be part of the future, and our project up north of here is going very, very well. So we're really proud of that project, but we believe it needs to be part of the future. So those 3, coal, natural gas, and nuclear, are the 3 primary sources that people view when they think about electricity. But there are others, and the next phase is renewables. What are we doing in renewables? Why is that important? Well, it's important because it's the right thing to do. But it's the right thing to do when you're thoughtful about it and do it in a way that does not have adverse impacts on the economy. Right now, our company has the 2nd largest voluntary solar program in the United States. And that solar program is going great guns. We have done it in a manner that does not put upward pressure on rates. That is by not having a mandate. That does not include economics or consider economics. We're comparing it against the cost of all of our other generation opportunities, and it is coming forward very, very well. So we're pretty excited about our solar footprint. But in the future, we're going to be very cautious about how we move forward with solar. It is important, we do need to do it, and we're going to consider it for the future. Secondly, in the renewable areas, biomass. We have a facility outside of Albany that's a coal-fired unit today. We would like the opportunity to convert that to biomass. And so some may say, are you going to burn trees? And the reality is we're not burning trees. We would burn the stumps, we would burn the limbs, and treetops. So we wouldn't interfere with the typical market. We would basically take residue in the forest or after clear cutting and all, and use that to fire up this plant. The challenge that we're facing there is the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is continuing to increase the environmental controls on a biomass plant. And the question is are those controls going to get so tight to where it jeopardizes our ability to convert that plant from coal to biomass? We still believe there's a heck of a market for that. In fact, in Georgia, one thing that's happening, there are places in Georgia where they're chipping up trees, pelletizing it, bringing it to Savannah, putting it on a boat and sending it over to Europe. And the question is, why can they do that and we not? Well, if our price was 3 times the price it is, it would be economical here. But the price over there, the markets where they're going to, the price is 3 times what it is here. That would be a little hard for our economy to swallow. So we're a little hesitant about doing that without understanding the economic implications of it going forward. And then you got wind. Everyone in this room is familiar that we've done a lot of studies off the coast about the availability of wind and wind energy. Well, our research has told us up to this point that it is marginal at best. And so until we're absolutely convinced that it's in our customers and the economy's best interest, you're not going to see us do that, I don't think. Now, we're going to continue to monitor it, going to continue to watch it, and if technology improves and we have the ability to do it economically for our customers, then we'll consider that. Lots of reasons why you do it, lots of reasons why you don't do it. But if it can't pass the economic hurdle, then I don't think you're going to see us do it. The final area of energy that I want to talk to you about is conservation. You know, we have energy efficiency programs. You see advertising where we're suggesting that you use energy wisely. And people ask me all the time, why in the world would you try to talk your customers into using something less of what you sell them than what they otherwise would use? Well, the answer is, if you at your home are more profitable and you and your business are more profitable because you're using our product wisely, then you're able to invest back in the economy and help the economy be stronger. So we want you to use every bit of energy that you need to run your business, but not 1 unit more. We would prefer you to be healthy. And if you're healthy, then you're able to grow your business. And if everybody's able to grow their business, guess what? The economy gets stronger. What happens if the economy gets stronger? We get to sell more. And so that's how we win in the long run. If you win, we win. If you don't win, we won't win. So it's about us maintaining that balance, of trying to help make sure that our product is affordable and that you use it in the most efficient manner so that we're able to help you be stronger. And if you're stronger, it'll be good business for us going forward. So when we wake up every day, we think about all those things, running through those 3 tests. Is it reliable? Is it cost effective? And do we have somebody nice to talk to if you have an issue? You can rest assured that every decision we make runs through those 3 tests. We've done it for 130 years. You can count on us to do it the next 130. And we just want to thank you for your business. Thank you for the opportunity to come today. I'll be glad to take a few questions if you have any. Yes, sir.
Then we looked at wind turbines on the coast. We looked at the current turbine without submerged.
Our company has not, but there has been some research. And to date, the research does not indicate that it's very cost effective. Maybe someday, but today, technology is not caught up with that challenge. Yes.
How much power are you buying from your industrial clients that have access power?
Some of our industrial customers have their own generation sources in their facilities. And there are times when they generate more than they consume and they sell it back to us. It is probably less than 0.1%. But it is a very good deal for certain industrial customers who have excess capacity to be able to sell it back to us. And we welcome that. It's best for their business. In the long run, it'll be good for our business. So we're glad to do that. Yes, sir.
The EPA has promulgated regulations to mandate carbon dioxide sequestration for new coal-fired plants. How would that impact your cost structure and to what degree?
Just to make sure you heard that, on September the 20th, EPA sent out some greenhouse gas rules on new sources, meaning new coal-fired power plants. And the rules, and they're in draft form right now. Our company and everyone in the industry will be providing comments. But the rules suggest that you're going to capture the carbon that comes out and inject it, store it somewhere. Typically, it's injected in salt domes and used for enhanced oil recovery. The challenge is geography does not provide the opportunity for everyone across the U.S. to do that. And so that's going to be a challenge. We're building a facility over in Mississippi where we're doing that, but we're sitting right on top of it. The geology in Georgia does not provide for that. So in terms of a new generating source in the state of Georgia, by those rules, is going to be incredibly costly. And unless it beats all the other options available, you won't see us do it. We just simply can't do it because you would have to pipe that CO2 a very long way to have it injected into the ground. So it's a game breaker, not a changer. It's a game breaker here. And EPA has come out with those rules, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. And next June,